fear, as well as some of the other things that are generally associated with unforgiveness. As a matter of fact, it's spirituality and unforgiveness. And I think before we had our commercial break, Dr. Poe, we were talking about the impact that fear has upon unforgiveness. And let's give you an opportunity to open up to our audience some of the things that we've talked about here.
Well, when I'm hurt or offended, and if I choose not to forgive, then it increases the level of fear in my mind. And fear in my mind becomes a source of pain in my mind as well as in my body. Now, when I'm hurting in my mind and in my body, okay, in this case as a result of refusing to forgive, I have another emotional response to that pain, and that's anger. All right? When I'm hurting in my mind as a result of excessive fear related to unforgiveness, I become angry because I'm hurting. Okay? And the fear, the pain, and the anger then become in me a source of depression. And those emotions also contribute to disturbances in my body. My body then becomes impaired to some extent because it's being impacted by a higher level of fear, a higher also pain. It's being impacted by anger, and as long as that anger is unresolved, it becomes hostility. So you see, by refusing to forgive, I have set off a chain of emotions. Fear, and in response to the fear, there is pain. And in response to the fear and the pain, there is anger. And as long as the anger remains unresolved, I will become hostile. And there's a lot of research out there that shows that hostility correlates with a high incidence of hypertension and also coronary artery disease, also heart attack. So you can see how unforgiveness then sets the stage for impaired physical health, but also impaired mental health as well.
And so you're saying that the relationship between the body and the mind, in a real sense, the mind can make the body sick. Is that what you're saying? Explain that from a psychological.
Well, first of all, we're searching to understand illness, mental illness, and chronic physical illnesses. In the psychiatric classification called DSM-4, it's revised now. There's no mention of the causes of mental illness. There's a speculation that genes may play a role. There's speculation that stress plays a role. There's speculation that mental illness occurs in relationship to some chronic physical illnesses. But the jury is still out. We're still searching for a better understanding. But my belief is our behavior, especially our self-centered behavior, and the self-centered behavior of others in relationship to an affected person is a major cause of mental illness, as well as being a major cause of chronic physical illness. So then, self-centered behavior is behavior that goes against the will of God. It is a violation of the golden rule. It is me treating you like I don't want you to treat me. Whenever I do that, I increase the level of fear in my mind. Increased fear causes pain. Increased fear and pain causes anger. All of that unresolved ends up being grief. Grief is essentially pain. All right? Grief unresolved impairs the functioning of my body, impairs my immune system, and renders me vulnerable to chronic infection. And also, grief will often manifest as depression, sometimes as anxiety disorder, sometimes as a personality disorder, sometimes it will contribute to craving for alcohol and drugs and sex, and so you've got a vicious cycle, okay? Starting with my refusal to treat others like I want them to treat me, my refusals to obey the commandment of God, which says, love others as you would have them love you.
Well, Dr. Poe, would it be fair, and I don't want to simply start categorizing folks. Would it be fair to find, and there are some individuals, as you've indicated earlier, dealing with self-esteem, that there are some people that you believe are just actually, that I believe that are just actually angry, they are actually hostile. Sometimes you say something to them and they respond in such a way as if they wish to bite your head off. And are you saying that these folks might be in the grip of this whole thing of unforgiveness?
Yes, because If I'm in a condition of unforgiveness, what that means is I have not been living a life pleasing to God. That means that pleasing myself has been my #1 agenda rather than pleasing God. So then I am now in a condition of mind, body, and spirit, okay, that I refer to as being in a condition of unforgiveness. Being in a condition of unforgiveness renders me paranoid in this way. If, if someone offends me, and if I refuse to forgive them, and if I, as a result, want to get even with them, okay, then I'm going to have the fear, I will develop the fear that people that I have offended, okay, are not going to forgive me and want to get even with me. So that renders me afraid, afraid that the people that I have hurt are gonna hurt me, as I want to hurt the people who have hurt me. So you see how unforgiveness, or the refusal to forgive, renders me paranoid, renders me very fearful. To be paranoid is to be in a condition of unresolved hostility. Okay? So then if I'm in a condition of hostility because I refuse to forgive, my mind misinterprets people's comments. My mind misinterprets events. I misinterpret them I perceive them as if the person wants to hurt me. You follow me?
When in actuality, it might not have anything to do.
In actuality, in most cases, that's not the case. But because I'm in a condition of unresolved hostility, or in a condition of paranoia, or in a condition of unforgiveness, because I refuse to forgive or refuse to live the way God wants me to live, my mind distorts what's coming in. It turns it into an attack. It sees an attack where there's no attack.
And so, Dr. Poe, we're getting ready for this second commercial break. But when we come back, let's look at some of these areas of unforgiveness and talk about how they can be applied to what's going on nationally and perhaps internationally, and then come to some kind of conclusion in reference to what can be done in order to help to perhaps make people deal in a more civilized, perhaps, manner with one another, either nationally or internationally or on a personal level. Because I think what you're indicating here is that unforgiveness might be as much a part of a nation as it can be on the part of an individual, and et cetera. And so when we come back, I want you to deal with that during this last segment. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. And unforgiveness.